Wanna play again?
This is the ELEGOO UNO R3 kit, and it comes with 63 components, and most of the components are perfect to build a doll like this, except for one. I added a DF mini player from DF Robot, and that allows her to talk, as you probably already heard. Otherwise, it'd be a pretty lame game if she didn't say anything. So let me show you around the doll real quick. On her back, we have a display with some buttons, and this allows you to set up the game and the language. We also have the Arduino Uno that's accessible through her back here, and a sound module that you can see there. She just turned her head around, so her head also rotates. On the front, we have the sonar, we have a motion detection, and we have the timer for the game here. That's
almost ready.
That is on her belt, and everything on her is attached magnetically, even the back of her head.
Press the play button when you're ready.
You see her eyes change color, and the little barrette in her hair is a remote sensor for the remote control. And that's it. But there was one big challenge. All of the components that I used inside this doll use 29 I/O pins. However, the Arduino Uno only has 20 I/O pins. So please watch towards the end of the video so you can see how I cheated just a little bit so I can get all the components working with only 20 pins. Seriously guys, am I the only one here?
Yes, it seems people betting their life on a game isn't as popular as we thought it would be.
What? Betting your life? Wow, I really gotta start reading the fine print.
That's for sure. But on the bright side, if you do win, you get to walk away with this. Show 'em, Big O.
Nice.
That there, my friend, is 1,611 South Korean won.
Oh yeah. So how much is that in US?
$1.35.
I'm not playing for that. My life is worth more than that.
Alright, I get it. How about we also include the ELEGOO UNO R3 kit? We use this to build the first game.
An ELEGOO electronics kit? Huh.
Yeah, no, you'll get the whole kit, except for the parts that we already used.
That kit sounds expensive.
Actually, it's really not all that.
Alright, I'll do it. What's the first game? Yeah, it's the red light, green light game.
That was supposed to be a secret. But yes, it's the red light, green light game.
Yeah, but you play with the robot doll.
Guys, come on. You gotta leave something for a surprise. But yes, the doll plays the game.
So how does the doll work?
We're not sure how it works.
You know what? I think I saw Code Makes It Go made a video about this. That's a good idea. Let's watch that.
Fine, whatever. Let's watch it. We already told them everything else. Maybe it'll even be educational.
Pulling it up now, sir. Here it is.
Good work, Try Guy. Now fast forward to the build part.
Alright, fast forward. Here you go.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the video?
You're looking at now, sir. Everything that's happening now is happening now.
What happened to then?
That's past then.
When?
Just now. We are at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now?
Soon. Oh man, you two must be Spaceball fans too.
Space what?
Oh, seriously? So you two just, wow, okay.
Now fast forward to the build part.
Here it is. As I said in the beginning, I used the ELEGOO UNO R3 kit for this build. ELEGOO asked if I could do a video with one of their kits, and I told them that I could use all of the components with an escape room, or just some of the components with the Squid Games doll. They chose the Squid Games doll because it's a hot topic right now. The kit comes in a nice case to keep everything organized. After looking at all the components available, I started to create some top-level requirements. One thing that I can agree with is this is the most complete starter kit for the Uno. We need a menu system to configure the game. I'll use the motion detection and the ultrasonic for distance to determine a win or lose. Obviously the head will need to turn, as in the show, and we will need to add in some colored eyes for extra bit of creepiness. Here's what we will use: the Arduino Uno R3 for the controller, the 4-bit 7-segment display for the timer, colored LEDs for the eyes, 3 buttons for the menu, ultrasonic for the distance, the MP3 player for the sound, motion detector, IR remote receiver, servo to move the head, and the LCD display for the menu. As I said in the beginning, all of these components will take 29 I/O pins, but we only have 20 on the Uno.
Red light!
So here are some cheats I used to get the I/O count down. Instead of using 5 different color LEDs, I used a tricolor LED for the eyes. With this, you can make any color, so that saves us 2 outputs. For the buttons, instead of using an input for each button, I wired each button to a different value resistor and only used 1 analog input. The biggest save was with the LCD display. Instead of 6 wires to control the LCD, I attached this to an I2C module to control it. This greatly simplifies the wiring for the LCD, and I wish this came with the kit. This saves us 4 I/O pins. The final trick was I only used what was necessary. Our game only runs up to 300 seconds or 5 minutes, so I don't need all 4 digital outputs for the display. I'll remove the last display, saving us 1 digital output. Now everything should fit on the Uno, and we used every single pin on it. Now that we have our I/O situated, I created a prototype. The ELEGOO kit comes with a lot of example programs on it, so it was easy to get each individual component up and running. The more difficult part was to make everything run together as a system. The game logic was just a state machine inside a state machine. If you'd like a closer look, you can download the code at my GitHub page, and the link is in the description below. The good thing about this project is that you can do all of the programming while the doll is printing. It took me 6 days of printing, and I used multiple color spools so I didn't have to paint everything later. I took a version of the doll on the webs, hollowed it out, and modified it to fit this build. Now that the doll is printed, we need to paint it. I was debating to install everything first, then paint, but most of the parts that are painted will not have many electronic parts installed. I did the best I could to mask everything off, but there was still a little bit of paint bleeding. I added magnets to connect all of her limbs together, to make it easy to disassemble and store her in a box in case you're worried she might come alive at night and steal your wallet. Which reminds me, here's a good safety video on robot awareness. Honey, I'm home! Hey, good news, I got 2 likes on my videos today. People are really starting to take notice.
I'm happy you had a good day. Dinner's almost ready.
So where is my wife?
Oh, she had an accident.
Has this ever happened to you? A robot that you built suddenly becomes self-aware and tries to take over your household? Hi, Jason here from Code Makes It Go for your robot safety awareness training. This situation is becoming all too common. Every day, 10 out of 9 robots become self-aware and try to take over your household. But there is something that you can do. In this safety training, you will learn how to disable a rogue robot in 5 easy steps. Let's watch. First step is to get your Code Makes It Go safety awareness card out. Yeah, it sounds great. Then approach the robot very closely, but also keep your distance. Hey, I got a quick question for you. Now, hold the back of the card up to the robot and firmly but passively ask the robot to help you solve this equation. Can you help me solve this equation? Next step is we wait for the robot to segment fault and reboot. Nice. Now that the robot is down, you have to act very quickly and kick its face off before it has a chance to reboot.
Right arm forward punch.
Nice, good job. That completes our robot awareness safety training in 5 easy steps. Remember to stay calm when your robot becomes aware. I hope that was informative. Next, we need to get this prototype transferred into the doll, and I have no idea where everything will go. A lot of times if I wait to plan out every single detail, I'll never get started. So sometimes it is easier to just jump first, then look for a spot to land. The kit did come with a prototype shield which plugs on top of the Uno. This makes adding additional components much easier. I use this for the 4-digit display driver and the DF Robot Mini MP3 player. Speaking of the 4-digit display, it needs a front diffuser because these are kinda hard to read without them. I tried printing a 0.5mm screen and a 1mm screen. I think it looks better with the 0.5mm diffuser screen, so we'll go with this. Now I just need to figure out where to put this display. I decided it would be best to add it as a belt to try and integrate it into her dress somehow. I masked off the area to help prevent mistakes and then cut the area out with a Dremel. I use epoxy putty to create a nice transition from the belt to the display. After painting the belt, I epoxied the diffuser to the display. I was worried about this part of the build, but I think it turned out really nice. The sonar and the servo will be mounted to the chest plate. I created some small templates to test fit the servo and the ultrasonic first. I also took this opportunity to create a channel for the wires to pass through the neck for the LEDs and the IR sensor. Like a puzzle, this chest plate sits between the shoulders perfectly. Sometimes I even surprise myself. I secured the servo and the ultrasonic using epoxy, knowing that this is the last project these components will ever see. I pressed the head on top of the servo and made sure it would rotate 180 degrees freely. Grouping the wires together with some heat shrink helped them from getting snagged. The motion sensor was a bit of trouble. This thing is very sensitive and can see 110 degrees. So I needed to add some horse blinders so it would only see directly in front of the doll. I printed a few different size holes to test for the best result and found that a 7mm hole worked the best. I simply hot glued the horse blinder around the stomach area, then drilled a hole through the body for it to see out. The horse blinder also helped by not having to mount this huge sensor on front of her body somewhere. Now for the menu display. I created a plate for the LCD display and buttons. I used a 1mm thick plastic that I could easily mold to her back with a heat gun. This worked perfectly because it also helps cover up the top access hole. Now that I had all the components installed, time to connect them to the Uno. Except, I forgot to label the wires, so I had no idea where any of them went. So I had to take everything apart and label them. The Uno with the prototype board screwed down onto this platform, and the platform will sit on the inside of here. The platform helped keep the Uno in place and help clean it up a bit too. Now that the build's all done, I'm going to show you exactly how she works and some of the cool features that she has. So I use a 9-volt power supply to power her. When we plug her in, she has a startup sound, and her eyes light up yellow. She has a 60-second counter because the motion detector needs 60 seconds to warm up. At 30 seconds, she's going to do a giggle and then turn her head all the way around. At 10 seconds, she'll remind us that she's still getting ready.
Almost ready.
And then finally, at 0 seconds, her head will turn back around, her eyes will turn blue, and she'll let us know that she's ready.
All ready. Let's play. Press the play button when you're ready.
And she will keep asking you to push the play button when you're ready every 30 seconds. So on the back, we have a menu, and it starts off with Welcome to the Squid Games. We have 3 buttons, the menu and the select button on the left side. We have the amount of time that we want to play, 300 for 5 minutes, and you can select all the way down to 15 seconds.
Press the play button when you're ready.
Then the play type, auto or remote. If you're in remote mode, you could run the game using this remote. In auto mode, she has 5 seconds of red light time and 3 seconds of green light time. When we change this to remote mode, her request will be different. Instead of press the play button when you're ready, you have to push the power button.
Press that power button on the remote when you're ready.
And finally, we have language. She'll say red light, green light in English, or she'll speak in Korean for the red light. So we'll turn her back around here. and we'll push the power button, and her IR sensor is up here on her barrette.
Get in position.
So she gives you 10 seconds to get to the starting line before the game will start. Okay, now she's waiting for you to press the play button on the remote, so I'll do that now.
There you go. Green light.
And she will wait and green light until I push the play button again. Right now the distance sensor is active, so it's waiting for you to get within a certain range. If I break this range,
You won! Wanna play again? Press that power button on the remote when you're ready.
she'll just go in this endless loop of, if you win, she'll ask you to play the game again. So this time we'll go into the red light mode.
Red light.
And in red light mode, her distance sensor and the motion sensor is working. So the distance sensor, if you move more than 10 centimeters, she will say that you lost. But on the movement, if you move at all in front of her, and she'll detect that as well. So I'll move in front of her.
I saw you move. Sorry, you lost. Wanna play again?
All right, we'll start the game with only 15 seconds to play.
Green light.
And we'll let the timer run out.
Better hurry.
She lets you know you better hurry because time's almost done.
Out of time. Sorry, you lost. Wanna play again?
And this time we'll change it to Korean.
There you go. Green light.
Here's the Korean version. So that's it. She'll just keep running through this loop over and over until you're done playing the red light, green light game. Hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, leave a like and or a comment, and I will answer any questions that you have. Thanks for watching. That was a pretty good explanation. You two should probably subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of his videos. Ha! Good luck getting a reliable internet connection out on this island.
Alright, that's enough. It's time to play the game. Meet me outside.
Whew. How did you get here so fast?
Well, the room we met in is right over there. I just walked through the door.
Seriously? Why don't you just... Nothing. Can we just get on with this game? This video is getting long enough.
Everyone ready? You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
You ready? Set. Go.
Green light.
Hey robot, can you help me solve this?